Coffee and Kush TV once again. I know y'all didn't think I was coming back on the air for my night study course, but I had to. I had to. You know, because I seen it's just so much that I got to get off my chest. Why not? Why wait till tomorrow? I'm going to speed y'all up on the process right now. Why not? Hit that like button when you make your way because I'm finna show you something great. What's up, Royal Purple? I'm finna show you something great, Royal Purple. I was just talking to y'all about some things, and I need to see. I got to find it in Canaan law. You see, that's what I'm on. I'm on their ass. I've been on their ass like King Von say for the last 3 years of how we ended up dead. And Mr. Gillespie had found the secret of the Masonic era. Press one. I don't found the secret of the secrets in the Masonic jar that they keep from us. Press one. Who the fuck made us dead in law? You feel me? Ooh, they thought I was searching for jewels. Press one. They thought I was searching for gold and silver. Mm-mm. Boy, they thought I was looking for Planet Nibiru. They thought I was looking for Serapis. Mm-mm. Uh-uh. Nope. I'm looking for how did we become black? Dead in law. Hit that like button and subscribe. How did we become dead in law? So, I got a lot of distractions in my life that I've woke up today. A lot of people don't know that when I woke up today was going to be the last time they ever talked to me. A lot of people didn't know that. I decided today was my day. Mm-hmm. When I woke up today, I said I'm going to have these people, some of these people going to be surprised that I pay them no fucking mind. Because they don't know that they was never in charge of when I decided today was the day. So that's what I set my mind on. Today being that day, great things happen today. Hey, listen. Usher Raymond's ex-wife has a petition going on to drain Lake Laniar. Press one. It just came across my feed an hour ago. It just came across my feed an hour ago. See? They don't have to. All what's going on is going to naturally happen by the events, by the current event. Get it? The current events. Yeah, buddy. Y'all gonna hear about a lot of bones being found, a lot of bones and families being found. A lot of people gonna be set. A lot of people wasn't even here at this time. Lake Lanier and many other lakes and territories hold the secrets to who we really are. And as the man-made water recedes and recedes, so will they dirty deeds. See, the water is the control mechanism for how they took over. I got off the air today just to hear Donald Trump talk about this very thing to the current farmers out there who did so well under Donald Trump and how the federal government used water and made man waterways and water holes to steal people's property, and that he put an end to it in his term as presidency. Press one. He said back in the day, in the early 1900s, he say if they had a little bit of water on the land, that was enough for the federal government to come in and say, this ours. As soon as I got off the air and I had something to eat, Donald Trump comes, I say, woo-wee, God is good to me. Press one. I say, Kev is blessed. I be forgetting it's me. Kev is blessed. Press one. Now I got to get on the internet and relay the message. As I say, like George W. Bush say, they're all going to be hearing from us very soon. Press one. Yeah, I know you hear me, as he stood on 9/11 rubble. But all of the terrorists of the world will be hearing us very shortly here. Press one. Hercules. My favorite political time to be alive was to watch the George Bush and Dick Cheney fucking war strategy. Press one. I've never seen such. That's why I stopped believing in American dreams and shit. When George Bush showed that America can murder millions of people and just say, nigga, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Propaganda. Press one. You wondering why Tom Brady win the Super Bowl? Because it's a Patriot in time of war. What the fuck else do he need you to do but stand up and celebrate in awe at why we about to go to Disney World and then send $10 million F-16 jets and bombers to do what y'all went and did. America is terrible. The war country, always in war, always looking for something to do, looking away to launder money and send our reparation package all around to Ukraine. Ukrainian President Zelensky is up there right now. Please, I know it's just money, but the money is saving our life. That's the problem. I don't give a damn what happened to Ukraine. Press one, bars. I want what's rightfully ours to come to us. I don't give a damn about Candace Owens talking shit from Europe. Woman, you have no jurisdiction here. You married a foreigner. You own nothing, peasant. Press one. You ain't even American. Shut your ass. I think you should shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Whoop-de-doo. Now you get to tell your kids how backward you is, and how you traded in your freedom to marry a foreigner who now you can't own nothing. Well, whatever your daddy had, never mind. I'll wait till you find out when you finna celebrating, you German wrench. Press one. Hit that like button. Parfait. Hit that like button and subscribe. You German wretch, you. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'm gonna wait till all my people up in here real quick. Yeah, if you wasn't there when I woke up this morning, like, I'm not holding nobody or nothing back in the next quarter of my life. Kobe time, Robert Ory for 3 press one. They don't know nothing about it. See, people be thinking, these people who take you for granted, they think you're going to be there for them tomorrow. And I'm such a good person. I do be there for everybody tomorrow. And people know that. It's when you're not there. It's when you do the honest. Today, I don't want to be there. I don't want to give more and 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 more. And people don't even show up. You know what I'm talking about? I can dance by myself. Hit that like button and subscribe. I can dance by myself. I have fun by myself. So I be trying to tell people all the time, like, I'm the prize And I try to keep it on the low, like, shh. Because they make up things like I be in my ego and boastful about being a prize. But I sit here and watch other people claim they a prize and they ain't shit. So why not? You goddamn right. I chose to be the prize. Is that like, but this is where I chose to be the prize. You feel me? I let my light shine. You can be the prize in your own right. I just said I'm the prize. A man on the grind is the prize. That's a hell of a reason to have good confidence when you on a run from Popo, getting food stamp. Press one. Fuck that. Hit that like button. Nigga got to start somewhere. If nobody's there, you got to do it yourself and let that time that you said that's enough be enough. No matter what it is, business, friendships, relationships, partnerships. You know what I'm saying? We've been driving this ship, and to be the captain, you got to be able to see all the distraction. You feel me? It's like waves in the ocean. You feel me? Eventually you rocking with it. Stay with me there, skipper. Press one. Get on out there and do something while the water running up on the deck or something. That's just a little water. You get the captain talking to you like he retarded, drunk off of seawater. And it's called big balls. You got to have big balls to do this shit. That sister called and said, you know what you doing? If I didn't know what I was doing, would I had just got here and solved all these little riddles just mysteriously? No. And with more to come. Like, watch this. I'm finna show you a magic trick. You want to see a magic trick? I'm going to show you a knowledge magic trick. I'm going to show you. Now, this is going back into, see, I can be rapping, but I don't want to rap. I want to do this. I like doing this. I don't want to rap. I want to do this. Press one. I want to let our people know about this stuff. The SQV Trust. Are we there? I want to let people know about that. That's what's important to me, because I got to prove that they put us in the SQV Trust, and the birth certificate is affiliated with this stuff. You feel me? I love to stay there playing with y'all. But it's about you. It's about the redemption of the dead. You can't tell me what you're not when I know what you are. Hit the like button. All SQV are they trusts are temporary testamentary trust holding estates. All 50 states are SQV trust estates. A valid certificate or instrument is required to be issued for their birth, technically declaring the true beneficiary dead until their return. Until when? Until the end of time. Until their return. If a private company, it is a certificate of incorporation. Press one. Are you a private company? Do you have a straw man? Okay, just make sense of it. I just came on the air to read this. That's it. No cap, as they say in the African American urban community. No cap. Let's keep going. Let's go on. Any administrator or executor who fails to fully disclose an existing SQV relationship in the likeness or name of a person being offered a benefit before them constitutes a fundamental. Press one. So they must know what they're doing when they come into your possession. And if they don't know, then it is a what? and a grave breach of duties under all competent forms of trust law. Competent forms of trust law requiring immediate suspension of any of benefits, stop it, dismissal and disgraced official and their punishment. Do you understand? I'm not talking in allegorical sense. Press one. That boy Kev Gills is on another level. He trying to explain to us. This is what you got to say to yourself. He trying to explain to us why God has blessed him to be able to explain it to us, because we wouldn't know what the fuck he talking about. Press one, excess cuvee. Now you have to read these things on your own. Press one, you have to do the research for class. You can't just sit back and when y'all ladies see when I call on the men, they don't even talk no more. Cause I chose not to have fun no more in KevRow University. I can have fun on Coffee and Kush TV. They don't want to talk to me when I'm not having fun. When you gotta learn something and I force them to think, then it becomes hard, and then I'm hard on them. And then the sisters like Brittany can call in and say, loosen up on Ali. Where Ali got to say, what the fuck? Hell no, don't loosen up on me. And keep pounding me in my head because I'm almost there for the breakthrough, Kev. Press one. See, the males know what we need. We need that stern, I can't be your friend because because as friends, we love each other to where we can't say the things we need to say. But as Professor Gills, the Superman of the community, you got him fucked up. There's something George Bush taught me. No child left behind, Ali. Press one. If I had a teacher be on my ass the way I'm on y'all ass, man, I'll go to that class and thank that teacher from the bottom of my heart that I was able to graduate school and I didn't see what they saw, the greatness in me when I was fooling around, pretending I was learning something. You feel me saying? No, bro. The real teachers know how important. I had a teacher pull me to the side and said, nigga, the white lady said, brother, we will pass you all the way through school and you not know nothing. I just want you to know what situation you in. You come from South Central. This is Taft High School. We will pass you to the 12th grade and you should still be in the 9th grade. And you got all this extra, you playing around disruptive. Then it made sense. Like, whoa, what the fuck did that mean? You will pass me and I'll still be dumb? Mm-hmm. We won't even say you need to be held back. We won't even give a fuck. But we'll pass your ass right to the 10th, hand your ass right to the 11th, get your ass right to the 12th, your ass be right the fuck up out of here, ready for the criminal lifestyle. Because you ain't paying a motherfucking attention. And it took teachers like that to make me stop fooling around during class and wait till lunch or homeroom. But shit like that kept a nigga straight. You feel me? So listen to this. When a child is born under inferior Roman law, the executors or administrators of the higher estate claim the baby as chattel to the estate. The slave baby contract is then created by honoring the ancient traditions of, you see why you're a Catholic? Because they honoring, this is for religious purposes. Kev Gills is telling you about a new birth. Press one, by honoring ancient traditions of either having the ink impression of their feet of the baby on to the live birth record or the drop of its blood, as well as the trickling the parent into signing the baby away through deceitful legal means, meaning on the live birth record. This live birth record as a promissory note is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank on the bank of the estate, and then conveyed into a separate sesquive trust per child owned by the bank. Upon the promissory note and reaching maturity and the bank being unable to seize the slave child, a maritime lien is lawfully issued to salvage the lost property and itself be monetized as currency issued in series against the. So where the gold at, nigga? Press one. So where the gold at? I told you. I told you. It's that easy. They hid it in your allegory knowledge, Taj. They hid it in your allegory knowledge, Satnetta. They hid it in the stories, in the myths, white people. The great pirate ships are nothing more than towns flooded. Press one. You know, those people are the reason why you're alive and here. Y'all buried right on top of them. Y'all buried right on top of them. But let me ask y'all this: when a child is born under inferior, so like Pac say, they claim we inferior, but why the fuck these devils fear us? I'm watching my nation die, genocide, the cause. Press one. So he's telling you exactly, and he's just not the only one. That's just lyrically. These are just bars. Imagine private conversations. Those are more meaningful. The one you tell, you talk to in your personal time. People remember when you're not there no more. You feel me? I think about that a lot. So you yourself is the promissory note. You feel me? I told you that you the commodity. I told you we was indebted to what? The company store, remember? They just put up the company store was what? The first fiat. Had all of the people and then they bust. They went bust because it wasn't backed by anything. Your money got to be backed by something. They found out probably the money was backed by fakes gold or fake this and fake that. Was a pure robbery. Hit that like button and subscribe. Once they admitted to using persuasion as a tactic, that automatically rendered the contract. Well, there you go. There you go. There's a lot of things why they're hiding the whole use of the contract. What is the sesqui? What is all this about? Well, if they were to do this, this is punishable by hanging, because you're going against the laws of the king. Remember that. You're going against common law. You're going against everything that the Constitution, the Magna Carta, and the Bill of Rights created for, and you go against that. You are trampling on their freedom. That's the wrong thing to do as a corporation, because you can not only you can get persecuted, but you can be reprimanded back to your homeland, all type of deeds. Any administrator who fails to fully disclose an existing relationship, the CESTQV trust relationship, in the likeness or name of a person being offered a benefit. What do you think this means? What does this mean to you? The person being offered a benefit. Huh? So you know. Well, the temporary trust is fictional. It's a temporary minor estate. They are benefactors of. You don't have to keep repeating. We said this over and over again. We got that. Okay, it's a fraud. It's the minor estate. The older lady taught us this. Remember, if people were paying attention. 13th and 14th Amendments genocided you and whitewashed you out of history. Made you a minor, incompetent. Press one. dead in law over 7 years. We just brought this up the other day. It's been over how long? 7 years. The same trust, same Canaan law that the Bible speaks of. Same Canaan law. So let me put that back up here. Because I don't understand. Uh this is the basis of the class right here. The trust. Learning the language of this. That lady got up here and I told y'all we gonna break that shit down and told you were genocided out. The trust is a fictional concept, first created under the reign of Charles II of England through the Sesquiv Trust Act of 1666. Press 1, wherein an estate may be affected for the benefit of a person presumed lost. Let me repeat this because I got some good smoke tonight. Press 1. I said, let me repeat this. This is the Act of 1666. You understand? Wherein an estate may be affected for the benefit of a person presumed lost or abandoned at quote unquote sea, and therefore assumed dead after 7 years. Additional presumptions by which such a trust may be formed were added in later statutes to include, because this is a stealing of your property. These are banks taking over. Bankrupts, minors. Ain't you a minority? Minors. Incompetent, not being able to speak. You cannot sit here and want freedom when you are incompetent. You feel me? Be from Texas. You cannot ride in the co-pilot seat if you are incompetent. If your brain is in allegories, in Wonderland, you are incompetent. Mortgages and private companies, not the public companies, private. Yet all of them remain temporary testamentary trust. So remember I told you about all those townships earlier that were flooded out by way of the Red Cross? We even seen black people, press 1, coming, being summoned to the comradeship. Look, press 1 with Dr. Pope Pius Woodrow Wilson III up on the goddamn thing. So we're talking trust law. I'm looking for something great. You feel me? I'm looking for salvaging and redemption processes of the individual itself. Hit the like button and subscribe. The power is in the people. It's in the people of the dead people. Yeah, Morton, man, you're in dead hands. 424-209-9506. Area code 424-209. We just read where it said, take a foot. If you don't do it, you will lose everything. So they're forced to do this to you and disclose it by way of benefit. What is the benefit? I don't know. Could be dowries, could be a number of things. Could be the benefit of the right. Could be monetary gain. Can be, I mean, if you're a beneficiary, like we was reading, so that allowed this whole trust. They just been finding ways to commercially enslave you. Trafficking by way of commercial law and intertwine commercial law with bondage and enslaving African Americans, who you call African Americans. Press 1. So all of the bays, all of the people are all against you. When a child is born under inferior Roman law, the executors are administration of the higher estate. These are the executors. This is your Illuminati who you're afraid of, the boogeyman who is really afraid of your mind. Because once you realize they are in total breach of trust, press 1, hit that like button and subscribe. Then it is you, or us, or I who have the power. Hold on, caller, 1 second. To the big question we got right here. We're talking about maritime lien is lawfully issued to salvage the lost property. So is the lost sheep of Israel property of God? Kev is cold. See? I got you on it. Coffee and Kush TV. Brian King, you're on the air. What up? Brian King, are you there?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Bless, man. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I was calling because I was looking up, and excuse me, I'm in a mall right now trying to just be off to the side to make this call. But I was looking up the difference between like really just trying to figure out what a testamentary trust was, because that's what we just seen up there on that slide that you have up.
Go ahead.
And and they said that a testamentary trust is a specific type of trust that's created as part of a last will and testament.
Wow.
But it says a living trust, sometimes called an inter vivis trust, is one created by the grantor during his or her lifetime, while a testamentary trust is a trust created by the grantor's will. So one of the grantors will be, in a sense, like the trustee, in a sense. And so so basically what I'm trying to say is, when it like the Bible, in a sense, would be like the living trust, or like George Trust, his estate would be like the living trust. But when they created this Teskey V Trust, so basically like the Teskey V Trust, basically what I'm looking at in my research,
it's a dead trust.
It's a dead trust. It's not a living trust like with a normal one, and it's created by the trustee. Right, and it's created by the grantor or the trustee.
Now, do he
the grantor of a trustee? So it's literally like them taking a trust and then creating one out of that trust that they got through only being a trustee or the grantor. So it was like the trustee or the grantor supposed to be supposedly in charge of this trust and kind of like the administrator over it, but they decided to create a dead trust out of this living trust
Now, who did they give the dead trust to?
themselves. So the living trust would be going to the actual the rightful people, the rightful beneficiary of it, but they have
Right.
created a dead trust
So
and
who's
gave
it?
themselves benefit of it.
The live trust.
Right,
So
exactly.
they
So they had
made.
to create. They had to
So
take that
who?
living
So who
trust
died?
and create a dead,
So who died and lost?
right, we died. Right, they killed off the original people who was the beneficiaries of the trust,
Go ahead.
and they declared everybody dead and lost that seed. So that's why when you look at the history of America, you see everything that they done, and then you like what you were showing us earlier, all the those videos of them talking about how this was done in Blackview, this was done here, and everybody's on the water. We was doing researches on all the other ships that was out here with the royal people on there. See, I was even looking back at like there's an old Titanic film that came out that was a Nazi propaganda, and I was going into research on who created that film and
Yes.
how it like I don't want to go too off topic, but basically I was doing research earlier and I was tying together how the same person that created that Titanic propaganda film is the same people guy who it all goes back to Hitler and the Nazi stuff, but yeah, basically so I just was like, okay, so they had to make everyone dead and presume dead. And then there was another thing I'm trying to think about it, because you know how they say debt is supposed to be like you're supposed to get a forgiven of debt after 7 years, and then in that thing that you just said, they said that they're presumed dead after 7 years. So it's like it's something about that 7 years that I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold on, trying to so it's a person entitled to rather than legal trust. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to put up this. Uh, yeah, um, yeah. That was just wild to me, figuring out those different trusts. I mean, you've been telling us a long time to do research into trust law and different things like that, but man, so that would mean that so the SKV trust was created. Trust was created. When was this trust created? Let me see. Um, um, says 16. Do you think that when they say 1666, you think that's time immemorial? Going back that far with them saying that that this was created in an act of
No,
1666?
no. I think the act was 1666. I
You
think
said
that.
the act was
Yeah, I think it's
1666?
1666.
1666. Oh, so they're not saying the year 1666?
Yeah, I don't know if I doubt it.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out who
1666. This is
created that.
by far. Yeah, like where did this come from or something like that? It says Canaan law,
Yeah,
so
I'm basically
it's
trying to
like
figure out what
corporate.
time did they create this, right?
Yeah.
To try to figure out, because I'm trying to see when did this actually go into in effect. Um, but it might go into, like I said, time immemorial, trying to go back so far in history when we know it wasn't that long ago. A few American judges. Let me see. I promise you, I'm tuned in. I'm gonna call right back in, sir. Let me just get a little bit more information, sir.
Well, I'm here, champion. My man in the building. Yeah, a little bit more. Look, you know, They got you in a dead state, worshiping the dead God and the God of the underworld. You've been bought and sold. Create this promissory note is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank of the estate. So you're enslaved unto your own estate. So it's a reoccurring. You just go right back. You already held in the estate. You're a child of the estate, but you are dead in the estate. And because you are dead, they've created a apparatus for themselves to be the executors of that beneficiary. But this is the thing. 13th Amendment made you a criminal. And the 14th Amendment allowed them to open this estate here, the minor estate. This is about the 13th and the 14th Amendment. Once again, what did that woman say? She said the 14th allowed the federal government to create a minor estate. The 14th is the minor estate. The 13th is the removal of you off the land, making you a slave, which is illegal. The 14th allowed them to create a minor estate, a debt bondage. What do they call it? A slave bond. And the slave bond is what y'all all be talking about. Oh, you can read on the slave bond. You can read how much you worked and how much and this and that. That's because your slave bond is this and your slave bond is that. Only through that I can't read that, Jessica Haggerty. Only though, oh girl, you need to work on this. Oh, only though that's under the law is bounded by the law, but those of Jesus Christ are no longer bound by the law. Wow, Jessica. Just go in there and look in the mirror and just say to yourself,
Not like this. Not like this.
just work on just work on your wordplay, sugar. Upon the promissory note, now you're dealing in company store money, fiat currency. You're dealing in company store money and fiat currency and shit like this. 424-209-9506. Yeah, that hurt my intelligence to try to read that. Because you are bound. What you talking about? You are bound by the law just like everybody else is bound by the law. Jessica Haggerty. Press 1. No. They don't be bound by the law. They be bound by the law of the devil, the God of the underworld. Why professing they know God, Royal Purple. That's what they bound by. They bound to that. They just supersede anything. They don't care. That's the Catholic in them. Press 1. There's that Catholic in them. So anyway, they're able to do this. And these are all things to protect you from this shit. A bandit as so imagine You've been abandoned at sea over 7 years. How many places are under? How many black towns and governments are under water in the Americas at this current time till this day? What happened to all of those people who were genocided out? They were presumed lost
Unknown caller.
or abandoned. Press one. They are considered lost
All right.
and abandoned at sea. Coffee at Kush. You on the air? Go ahead.
Hey, Professor.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I was sitting here thinking what you're teaching as far as the 1666 note and the banking system.
Go
And I
ahead.
was thinking to myself, because they had about a drop of blood. So
Right.
the hospital will be considered as a banking system,
Go ahead.
as a blood banking.
As a blood bank.
So when we born, they take our blood.
Oh my goodness. Who does that remind you of? The Red Cross. Go ahead.
Cross. So every time we go to hospital, what do? They take our
A
blood
blood.
again.
Oh my goodness.
Because they said I'm reading and they said by inkling of a blood. And I want to know, is they putting us back in bondage every time we go to the hospital
Yes.
by the drawing of a blood?
Yes. Yes.
So all the systems
It's
basically
like
got us
they-
surrounded in many different ways.
Yeah, well, they get it. You know who took that shit from you? Go get it back in blood. It's like old block little song
Yes.
say, but it's like more like a mantra. You want to get what I'm saying? It's what's in the air.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
the mantra's going around the earth right now, and people think is evil is really, nigga, your subconscious waking the fuck up. That type of shit, bro.
That's what
You feel me?
Yep.
That shit, bro. And people
I
don't
feel
even
you.
know what the fuck is going on because they so caught up in the allegory rather than knowing themselves. You feel me? And knowing the pain of
Fact.
the alchemist life rather than a story or somebody. You know what I'm saying? We crack babies. We was born. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins and shit to this day, bro. Are fucked up behind that shit. Uncles and family members that fucked up because they was tested on by these universities, sold drugs by these federal
Yep.
governments and police and all this other shit. So this hit home because all my niggas is felons and all get their blood drawn. You feel me?
Yep.
That's another
Yeah.
thing. See? So you made me think a blood bank. Damn. DNA.
Because they got it. Yep. They got it. That's what they already got us in the system. And that's how they tracking us through the blood.
So they know who you are.
They know who we are.
And
They know who we are.
damn, what made you think of that again? Was something on the screen that made you bring up that exact point?
Yeah, because it's saved by the drip of blood or the parent signing your way through ignorance. So that let me know that they took our blood so they could trace us. But every time we come around, they want to draw blood from us from somewhere. It's always they need blood. I don't care if you go in the military, anywhere you go, they want to draw blood. School, they want to draw blood. This place, they want to draw blood. Everywhere you go, they want to draw blood.
So you get a live birth, you get the foot, the baby feet, the impression onto the live birth record, or a drop of its blood, as well as tricking the parent into signing the baby away through a deceitful. But that's parents.
Exactly.
But that's parents patriae, where the women give the state they don't have a baby daddy. That's the whole point of single parent.
Then yeah.
There it is, right there. A whole
Yep.
damn, bro. Damn.
So I look at it, the hospitals ain't nothing but A hospital ain't nothing but another banking system, but it's the blood banking system.
It's a breeding center or something. Go ahead. It's all that. Because they look at Red Cross. What do they
For the
do with the
organs,
blood? Do they sell blood? Do they do all these things? Do they? You
they
feel me?
sell it.
Okay
They sell
then.
it.
Okay
First,
then. So
they,
what the fuck? The ugly truth is you were fucking. These are vampires.
yeah. So we ain't nothing but chattel to them. So anywhere they can, we turn around, they making money off of it. And at the same time, they put us back in bondage through their law.
Which is illegal.
Which is illegal.
King George, they made
And
all
like
of
you
the,
said,
they were
Professor,
against they were against the soulless corporation and the church. That was one and the same. The banking
yep,
institute, and then now
yep,
look, we finding out that
they're part
the
of it.
Rockefellers were in business with the Catholic Church to steal the land of the people. They took part in the paper
Yep.
genocide, and more than likely, since they was running the Red Cross, the real genocide. But go ahead, champion. You got the flow.
You hit it on the nose because I mean you enlighten us whole with the Bible of the Living Testament will. Now let's think about it. How the churches have people in ignorance of the law. They teaching them one thing, but they have people in ignorance of the law. If they were teaching people about the law, then people's minds would have been automatic sharp on what's really going on. But by theirs connected to these people, they keeping people dumbed down, and people are asleep in those churches. And if you think about this, how many people that's in the church sleep? That's a mass of people across the world. That's like we speaking about 2 million. So then I was thinking about the sororities.
Go ahead.
How they captured them going into colleges and how they put them in bondage.
Yes.
Through the sororities.
Yes. The sororities are offered key positions in acting in the fields where they will progress and help lead the simple folk. So they're on their own personal.
Yep.
We about to be, we about to do this, and it almost become ritual. It is become ritualistic. It's scientific. They did take part in things to break a human down. All of these things the Nazis would do. Y'all made it so they don't even got to do it by you doing it. Go ahead. So you break yourself down and take part in the old and breaking your own people down because you're going to become a star or whatever you're good at and indoctrinate them. And the cycle continues. Go ahead.
Professor, you done took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what they're doing. They done turned us on against each other.
Yes.
Over the power of a dollar. When people don't know the land is the greatest resources of life.
The greatest resource to God is the people.
It's the people. I agree with that. I might have said it wrong.
No, it's okay.
But people are first.
Yeah, he loved
people are first. People. But I'm saying for us, we are given the inheritance is the land.
That's right.
And the resources are in the inheritance of the land.
That's right.
But you was right. The people are the most important thing on this plane.
His people, people are connected to the land.
Yes.
That's their inheritance.
That's 100% correct. That's right.
Yeah, but they don't know because they outside of the law, what makes them not upstanding people. They don't have jurisdiction over their claims.
And that's like what you said. And that makes them what? Incompetent to stand before to claim what's rightfully theirs.
Bingo. You couldn't even speak it yourself. What are you missing here? You'll be lost in allegories and this one. Next thing you know, they laughing and shit, closing up the book saying, yeah, we knew it. So you got to live and breathe freedom. Like we talking today, that's freedom.
Yeah.
You got to live it. It's not nothing you can just pick up and nothing. You got to really know what world you live in and what was done to your people. So you will know how to
Yeah.
be, you know. And so they got the law of salvage
That's
and
a
all
fact.
that up here. We was talking about the law of redemption in the Word of God, and here we are in SQV Trust, and they talking about the same thing: salvage, people in a perilous state. Said even brought this up a year and a half ago, so this is very important. Anything else, champion? My man, you good? Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Professor.
My man, thank you, sir. My man, beautiful call, beautiful call, beautiful conversation. So y'all made a pact with the old Roman law. Y'all made a pact with the devil, where you give that church for the saving of one soul. These are ancient Roman traditions. And we found this to be normal and boom, 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 boom. Y'all don't picked up the teachings of Serapis, Osiris, Dagon, Nimrod, and Prometheus. All of them over to the god of the dead, Odin. Press one, Father Time, champion. Now you know you caught in parents patriae. You know the state got legal jurisdiction over your kids, can come in your house and take your kids because you don't know how to live birth. You don't know nothing about teaching your own kids. You got Mac makeup and you got Instagram and excuses. You work and then you got to do this fake life. So now you live in double life. Press one, you working. You got a regular. You wanted to be independent. Now, comes the other part of your silly life where you get to dress up and play makeup and hide it all under a weave so long running down your back. You pretended that you got it because your truck that you got that look nice. Oh, that's that dead bondage plastic toy car outside that will dent up if a little kid on a bicycle ram it in the bumper. Press one. Now you're out of 40 grand. You fucking bastard. Press one. You're keeping up with the Joneses. Well, that life you thought that you was loving and that Usher and Beyonce and Neo and all the rest of these musical artists taught you. I love her because she got her own. Wasn't so. Now you crying. I don't want to be on my own. That's one. I don't want it no more. But all of the men don't. That's one. All of the Pookies and Ray Rays listen to Kevin Samuels. Press one. They went back to the average nigga, and the average nigga, whoo, them niggas is on Kevin Samuels right now and Kev Gill. Yeah, baby, what you bringing to the table? Well, I got this ill nana. Did you know what nana mean? Press what? You know, I don't want any ill nana. These bills gotta be paid. That's right, Pookie. That's right. Hit that like button and subscribe. Pookie got him a little bachelor pad where the kitchen is in the bathroom, but he working on that. That's one. But he's the king. He ain't got a king size bed. He got a king size blood mattress. But guess what? He the king. That's one. So you got to start somewhere. No, that TV ain't on the motherfucking wall or on the dresser some damn where. Who got money for that? When you starting out, that's what they got to stand for. Prop it up right there on the floor. Grab some noodles. Press one. And invest in an Xbox. Woo! You thank me later. Press one. Next thing you know, you have a house full of furniture, a real kitchen. Press one. A real motherfucking kitchen. Yeah, then you learn how to appreciate why that propane tank in that bathroom wasn't so safe when you think about it. That's one. When you meet the gas man and he actually tell you you could have burnt this motherfucker down, you gonna realize, wait a minute, that was all backward. There's levels to apartment renting. Press one. So anyway, before I go off into clown mode, I'm here teaching. So, the 1,000-year right. As long as they can keep you enslaved mentally in a virtual motherfucking uh uh entertainment. I'm not saying don't have fun. Press one. I love having fun. But I know it's fun. I know that real life is serious. I'm sorry. I like having fun too. But real life is serious. And where I come from, bro, you take life serious, bro. Take life serious, bro. Count your blessings, bro. You feel me? And what I've seen on the internet, count your blessings, bruh. You feel me? So, would they want to take the bloodline? Of course they would. Why do I say Red Cross? Well, that could be it right there. The bloodlines. They want the blood. They want the blood of the people. Because our blood is different. Our blood types is different. Press one. See, they turned your whole government. I told you, we talked about this the other day. See, I talk different. See? How Disneyland had more power than the American government in America. Why? Because Disney is ran by the corporations that stole the land from the king and the people, meaning the resources of the land, because the people are tied to the land, especially the plots that they own. Press one. With all that World War II shit was going on, everybody's playing Joe Rogan dumb. Press one like, huh? No, I ain't know this was going. Nigga, you ain't know, nigga, Woodrow Wilson looked like Pope Pius, and y'all teach history class, blood on the set. About the gangbang on them. Blood, they got me fucked up, blood. That's how y'all gotta be getting mad at. Blood, you ain't gonna know them the same motherfuckers. I know if I was, you would have put Pope Pius, press up, press one. If you would have put Pope Pius up there, I would have been like, oh, that was the Pope. But no, you hit the truth from us. They made the colors. They had black and white back then. They made them black and white for a fucking reason. This little 100-year little technological advancement they got, and now they got spacecrafts flying out of space and shit made up for dummies. Press one, KevRow. Not one of them can stand against the truth, because guess what? I got the whole world in my hand. He got the whole white world in his hand. He got the whole world in his hand. He got the whole world in his motherfucking hand. And see, the Nazis, stop it right now. Let my shirt go. Let me go right now. That lady said, do I know what I'm doing? Nah, this is an accident. This is called spontaneous combustion. That's what happened when you sitting up there watching Eddie Murphy comedy. Press one, he got that red jumpsuit on, and you accidentally fart. Press one, is that funny? Press one. That type of energy up in the building. Press one. So the Catholic regime, that's what I call them. Because they the ones who was running the Red Cross at the time. You see Woodrow Wilson right here. Why is Woodrow Wilson right there fighting for the common? Come on. Because Woodrow Wilson in my brain is the same Catholic motherfucker who pulled off the Holocaust. You understand what I'm saying? Can I talk, though? I'm just be freestyling. You feel me? We're going to get into the Charles Dawes and all that. But let's just keep it Pope Pius and Woodrow Wilson. Let's just keep it there. Because somebody got to explain why we ain't got shit. See? And when you got Margaret Sanger up there fighting with the Ku Klux Klan, up there with the Ku Klux Klan, press one. Right there, standing on, right there. Hit that like button. We just read about how the Klan was. Now, this is the same lady who met with Marcus Garvey to do what? Y'all don't lost y'all rabbit ass mind. Hit that like button and subscribe. They don't lost their mind. How this happened though? And what is it all about? Red-handed G. George said, it's fucking red-handed, bro. So Margaret Sanger is who? An eugenics. She finding a way for you to accept eugenics and euthanizing and exterminating your own race. What? This is cleansing. How many floods was going on at the time? How many floods did this bitch survive? Why she wasn't in a flood? Press one. She was around. Why she didn't die in a flood? Because. Press one. So if you believe in Mickey Mouse right now, you feel me? Jessica talking shit. But Jessica, you believe in Mickey Mouse. Press one. You are non-compost mentis. Press one. The fresh maker. Mental. You come, as they say in the hood. You non-compost mentos, baby. Press one. You ain't getting it, boo-boo. So anyway, so let's just take this for what's the name. You are under the power of international corporations disguised as a fun world that you want to go to. I got God sent me to tell you. What is it? You're not gonna like me. Yes, we will. God told us. Bro, you sure you want? Yeah, tell us. Bro, y'all know Disneyland, bro? Disneyland, if you want to go to Disneyland, yeah, Mickey Mouse, yeah, it's real. Press one. Well, you are officially non-compost mentis. Now, remember what I said about Canaan law in which you are under the Holy See. Press one. This is the Pope in them, what Brian King was trying to get at, and he ain't called back since with his little young ass. Press one. Go look at this one. Non-compost mentis. Now, let me explain to you. The law, not legally responsible because of insanity. When you plead insanity, remember Tupac said, how do you plead, Shakur? Not legal by the reason of insanity. It was him or me. So he pled insanity. Not able to think clearly. Press one. And number two, you see in parentheses, them are the same parentheses for infamil.
Not like this. Not like this.
I had to throw that in there, yeah. You know I'm a state raised nigga. Press one. That's the same shit from me. And I know this shit like, oh, bro, they fed our people this shit. Yep. So everybody know what that was, bro. That's fucked up. That's what the fuck that was. That was fucked up. All right. So it's Wonderland. And so we all know the kings of Wonderland, Walt Disney, but it's not able to think clearly. This is a legal definition, especially in Canaan law and Roman law. Press one. This is what they got you in. Because first of all, you believe in allegories. If you knew this and y'all walking, or say you me, or say you, not even me, say you somebody of importance and who know this, right? And you in the earth and you looking at everybody on YouTube in real life and they talking about stars and planets, Saturn and Neptune and stuff, And then they talking about what happened in 32 AD. And these people don't even know what just happened in the 17 and 1800, a few grandmas ago. They will be shocked. They will be trying to figure out what's wrong with you. You are insane. Your ass don't took all of your spirituality and put it into Greek mythology, mythos. You don't took the law and made it null and void into whatever you wanted to amend yourself in. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah is the law. Press 1. But this is the puppet government you looking for. 50 years of Walt Disney. Mickey Mouse is the king at Walt Disney. The character playing King George. All right? He's real and Mickey Mouse. In Florida, in Hollywood, wherever Democrats exist. Because you can't have Walt Disney without the Democrats. Because it was a Adolf Hitler style. You notice that Disney is over all of the sunken land in Florida? You know Disney is all over large plots of y'all ain't doing nothing but riding roller and having fun on ritualistic graves and shit. And y'all just don't know. Well, you do. And all other things that go on, where whatever goes on at Disney. Once you look into who found and how this even came to be, it's all around the same time of your downfall. In time immemorial? No. Silly. With all of the massacres and land grabs was going on, Disney was doing something illegal. They was acting as real individuals, but was really a soulless commodity from foreign lands. So people was selling their land and selling shit to right back to Serapis Bay. 424-209-9506. 209-9506. I'm trying to figure out why everybody's so quiet all of a sudden. Shout out to Rado. He said swampland. Exactly. So drain the swamp literally means uncover all of the bodies in these swamps, in these swamplands under Disney. Press 1. Drain the swamp.
Unknown caller.
Drain the swamp only means drain
Call from
the motherfucking
Sure.
swamp. Coffee and Kush TV. What's your name and where you calling from?
Josh calling in from Atlanta. Peace, guys.
Josh?
Taj.
Oh, Taj.
It's
What
Taj.
up?
You know,
What
yeah,
up?
it's Taj from Atlanta. Yes, sir.
You got
Hey,
it. Go ahead,
I was
check
calling in after the show. I did a little bit of research on some of the other lands because this is a widespread thing, like you've been teaching us, that's happened all over the country. It's not just isolated to Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Wilmington, North Carolina. And now that I'm seeing it, like in the time, it's like other things that was happening, and not only Disney was taking over these lands, but also like Walmart. And one of the places that I came across was Harrison, Arkansas, and that was the site of the second Walmart that was ever open. But again, that was another place that was race riots based off of an assault, like a alleged assault that was never, it was never confirmed that this assault
Walmart?
actually happened. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. As in Sam Walton.
Okay. When was this?
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up right now. It was 19. Give me 1 second. Let me pull that note up real quick. This was in 1905 and
Yes.
1909. This was the Harrison race riot. But it's like all throughout the South. It's something unique to the South,
No,
and I
so
didn't realize
Walmart opened there
it
in
was a real
1900
thing until
when? Walmart opened there in
no
1901?
Walmart. No. What I'm saying is that's when the race riots were going on. Walmart actually opened. Give me a second. It was the second Walmart that was open. Give me 1 second. I can find that. I believe it was 1962. It was 1962 once they opened it up. But again, that goes like post World War II. That's when a lot of the dams and the lakes were being filled in over those towns, like in Lake Lanier. That was the 1950s. And it, like I said, it was widespread,
right.
like, as you know.
I'm talking about
Like
the
I looked
early
into the
1900s. Like the race riots are 19 early, and that comes mid to a little later. See, what I'm saying is Disney is not one person. It is a multinational corporation. So it's many characters
I understand, and it was
within that
founded
realm.
in
Go ahead.
1923.
What?
Yeah, Disney was founded in 1923. The
But that
initial
was
Disney that's over in California.
yeah, but I'm talking before that when they was
On
just a fucking underground motherfucking there was nothing more than spies for Russian czars. They became uh
okay,
they became entertainment company to hide that they were what do you call that shit when you're a spy but you're like what is MI6 what like intelligence agencies.
understood.
Yes.
Like I know what you're saying. Like one of the three-letter type of organizations that came after World War II, but they were there previous to that.
Yeah,
That's more
even in the
so
High Castle, they were always
the stay
underground.
behind.
They were always underground, like probably under Disney, up under a mountain, some goddamn where, planning this shit out. But yeah,
See, one thing, Kev, that I came across few weeks ago, I sent it to you. It was Operation Gladius, which was an offspring of Operation Werewolf,
uh-huh.
which is a stay behind, type of organization that what I'm gathering, it seems to be like the Boy Scouts as they came through in the 19 teens and the 1920s as they were expanding. It seems like that was what remained, and they made it seem like it was happening again over in Europe to stomp out fascist regimes such as the Nazis, which they blame for the genocide that actually happened here. But that was called Operation Gladius.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying now. Like that's crazy because them going to, I don't see them going to war. I see them going for humanitarian efforts and never coming home. I don't see them
Indeed,
going to.
indeed. More so with
I don't see why. Why go to war when all of them are against you? They have a plot. This is better than YMW Melly, sir. You know that, nigga. Why go to war? Yeah, we wouldn't have to do all the fakery if we really went to war, Taj. Hey, Taj, think about it. I could recreate war scenes in my bathtub with a fucking Nigga, let me
But
think about it for
during the
quite.
World Fairs,
Go ahead.
during, during the World Fairs, when Krupp was coming through with the cannons, and they were bringing in that during during the during that time, I know they had the recreations of everything that was
Of
going on in
course.
Europe, but as they said with the Krupp cannons, he said that he has a cannon that's so big that he can launch it from miles and miles away outside of a city and flatten a city.
Yeah.
And I know the war that they portrayed to happen over there didn't happen as they say it did, if it even happened. But it was definitely devastation that came here by
Now
way
check
of
this out.
not only the
Now check
flood,
this out.
but
After that, after the flood, will be the perfect time for reenactments. Everybody's out. You can blame 100 million deaths, 10 million people dead on a war that never happened. They died because they was assimilated into 14th Amendment citizens after the flood.
but with the Klan and the red shirts and the brown shirts, they they were actually coming and destroying towns. They were setting fires to towns,
Yeah,
cuz,
that was the
as in
that was
Tulsa,
the that
Oklahoma
was
in the
the
Red Summers.
that and more and worse than that. That was the militias and that was the first ones in the Great War.
Indeed, and
Them
that's
is
that's
them
all
is
I'm
them
speaking
is
on, sir.
yeah,
That, all I'm speaking on is
them
that
is
they
but
came in and caused
I got you.
devastation,
But
man.
you gotta remember, you said it like you was there. He's like, man, it's gradual devastation, man. That happened.
Bro,
But
like,
listen, but
bro,
wait, before
like
you
when
say
you
this,
when you
before
when
you
you
say
think
this,
about it,
but look, they did this first. The rest of it is the cover up. The whole theater of it. They had to have time to the Western and expansion per se. All that had to be flattened out. You just genocided these people 30, 40 years ago. Well, not even that. They say 10 years prior or something of the sort. You gotta start over. Bring the bulldozers out, all that. But those is two different
that's
like I say, the Great War is the Great War, World War One, and World War Two. The theatric of it all is what we caught up in. The paper planes flying around, going do, and all this shit. Well, you put your mind to the time frame and shit start like, damn, they beat us here. That's why it's called the theater of war. Is they beat you, they beat us. Yeah, they genocided a lot of sterilized and did all that. I'm not saying it. All that is a part of war, and this is all in the early 1900s. This is all early 1900s, where they say they was overseas or in the Pacific fighting. Our people was being euthanized and circumcised. Right here, I get all that, but for the most part, yeah, you just got to stay within the construct of time. That's all. And when they allegedly did this, when did they do that? Because in World War II, all I see is uh, RC cars and shit blowing up. You feel me? People running out in the
they did
middle
it
of
prior to
bombs,
that, cuz.
but
They did it prior to that.
but look, but people running out in bombs with guns going right through the bomb. You ain't running through no damn bomb. They was running through all that gas and
At all.
everything. Yeah, so a lot of it was recreation with actors. Most of what you see is produced by the government, aka Disney. What really happened, you shit. Kev is uncovering that now. What happened? We was flooded out, put into a perilous state, put on trains, made 13th Amendment citizens, dead in law, paper genocided. Press one, our people went from having things to having nothing. That's what we can see. That's right there. That's tangible. Right there. So I would love to get heartfelt about the different things that I can come up with that they've done. But the real world is not what you know, sir. It's what you can prove. So prove it.
What you prove. Yeah. So the Great Migration is the proof, bro. It's like everybody that was in the South going in the various directions that they went during that period. And what you showing us is the reason that they moved out of those places. The reason they moved out of the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, and all of that, and went west and north. The reason they did that was because they had no choice, because they were against an army, an army that moved in, that these people had brought in, and that's why I brought up Operation Gladius and Operation Gladio and Operation Werewolf. These are the boys, like the Boy Scouts. You proved that to me, bro, and I know that to be the case.
Well, they had our people in internment camps, and the Boy Scouts became volunteers and was watching the women in internment camps by way of flood as well, with big needles and doing the same thing that they do it now. But yeah, the damage had been done after the flood. They role reversed us already, genocided them out. That's the after effect. Keep the numbers low, sterilizing, and all of this good shit. But what can I say?
Indeed.
What can I say other than they flooded us out, and the people, the precious people, is the apple in God's eyes. While their eyes are on the resources and the minerals and the gold and the temples and control and power, all that what they thought, the real apple in this whole situation is the people. And getting the people to see the wealth in themselves that they can place on a chain, some earrings, nice watch or something, and see it in themselves is the goal, and know where that came from. Ain't no mineral on earth as precious as the mind of individuals who come from nothing, who turn nothing into revenue that we can pay bills with and shit. That's alchemy at its finest. Press one. So George Washington to me is somebody who can take it, lose it all, and get it back. But again, I don't want to ramble too much because this is a show. But anything else, champion?
Nah, that's it, Kev. I just want to touch on that a little bit of falling back.
My man. Allegories. I don't, I don't want to, this is not they did something to me. They did something to us, and man, it has to be. It sounded like he was a little upset. It seemed like Taj was a little upset at them for doing something. Gosh, Taj, for some reason I get that from Taj. Taj was a little upset, and he wanted. uh, but the story is deep, and we dealing with the minor estate. And all of this, all of the people of the nation, of this nation, is of the minor estate. a state that is granted to you to live, and this is your privilege that you see others with. That's that. It's really yours. See, but the thing about it is, you got to come to God. This ain't nothing that you can just see and be like, oh,
Unknown
I
caller.
want that. God blesses you and you can see your own inheritance. Press one.
Rod from Connecticut.
Rod from Connecticut. What's up, champion?
What's going on, Professor? Not much, man. I just been listening in to what's the topic of the show tonight, and I don't know, man. I don't really got a lot to say. It's hard for me to I don't know. I don't really, but I resonate and I understand and I comprehend everything you're saying and what's been going on. And it's almost at this point, how if you've been in class, how can you not understand? So I sent you something yesterday on Instagram. I think this quick little clip of the lady Rosie O'Donnell talk about the Holocaust wasn't real and it never happened, right? So everything you're talking about right now, I came across something. Yale actually has a course, and it's titled. Hold on, let me pull it up. It's titled. One second. I'm sorry. The Negro Holocaust: Lynching and Riots in the United States, 1880 to 1890.
Wait, the fuck going on? Wait.
And I came across it a few months ago, but I ain't been in the chat or the class, so I haven't really been able to, I ain't send it to you, but it's called The Negro Holocaust. Yo, you the GOAT, man. The Negro Holocaust, Lynching and Race Riots in the United States, 1880 to 1950. So they're basically saying the Negro Holocaust took place between 1880 and 1850, and we know what happened in 1890. That was the beginning of the Reconstruction. So everything you're saying is right on point. And they have a whole course that you can take at Yale, and they'll break all this down. And I'm going to send you this link right now because it's got a bunch of, you can go through the syllabus, and it's got a nice synopsis on each topic or whatever. But, yo, man, Kev, man, you might be the greatest person I never met, man.
My man, bro. Don't say stuff like that, man. Hey, right, no, but I feel you, though, because if I wasn't me, I would be like, bro, what the fuck? They teach this at fucking Yale. What did you think when you saw that at Yale?
I was mind blown. I was mind blown. I was mind blown. I just couldn't. It was like, yo, are you kidding me? They literally got this in a public forum, and I mean, don't get me wrong. It's almost like one of the things you put it in the book, niggas ain't gonna find it. You know what I'm saying? But it's right out there in our face. And even if we show people this, I know they still wouldn't even. You know what I'm saying? They still not. They're gonna have their doubts. But everything you're saying. So this mixed with or put together with everything you've been talking about, breaking down this history aspect of stuff. It's 100%. It's proven like the Nipsey shit. It's proven like the biggest shit. Like you don't do nothing but prove it. Bro, like you just said, man. If you can't prove it,
that means
you know what I'm saying?
Is on the Illuminati level and beyond, Chip.
Indeed, true indeed, bro. True indeed.
Yale
true
is
indeed.
the skull and bone.
Exactly, and I'm from New Haven. I live in, I'm saying I grew up here all my life, 35 years. So so it's crazy. So for that to even be for me, it's like, damn, what the hell? I was put I'll be having some of the same type of thoughts you be having about yourself.
Hey, so we may be teaching. I may be right here teaching Yale scholarship to simple people who can't speak.
My nigga, this is really the university, cuz. This is really the university, man. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
sir.
feel like a graduate student, man. Like I've been here for 4 years. I definitely got a super crazy education
You
that I
been
never
you
thought I would
right,
get,
and
especially in
you might be
history.
able to go to Yale. You probably get it this shit like, wait a minute, what the fuck did you get this from? Hey, you're accepted, and yeah,
Fact.
because you're great at you understand what I'm saying? Like this is
Yes, sir.
damn, bro. You just woke me up. Could you send me that,
Yes, sir. I just texted the link to you
bro? That's important. That may
from
be
a 203
advanced.
number.
Oh man, I wonder how much they charge people
Yo,
at Yale University for
that,
this behavior.
you know they're charging an arm and a leg,
we
man.
got a
That's
we
a
we
fact.
don't we got a community
And you
college.
know, Yale is built on top of Yale is built on top of a graveyard.
No shit.
Like downtown New Haven, our downtown, our green is they try to say it, and this has been like all my life. It's been the rumor that it's an old slave graveyard, quote unquote. But because you know this is where the Amistad came in, that quote like supposedly and all that other stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, there's this church down there that has a like the actual graveyard under it. It's got tombstones. Benedict Arnold's wife is actually buried under there too. And it's it's all these tombstones that you can hardly read, but they got 16 something on them. And like you were saying, who was here? They wasn't here during the 1600s, my guy. Like they just came here in 18 something during that Great Migration. So you know, it wasn't them like they saying it was. So man, I just want to commend you, bro. Like I'd be in the class. And I could
Bro,
be out of the
I
class
can't
and
I
just tap
can't
back into the month. And
I
you,
know, bro. That's why I love seeing you actually come in the chat, you learn, you boom, you let me know, Kev, I see you, bro. I see you. And then hearing you, that's a different level of shit. Like I say, my real students who really out in the world and about got me on the radio or something or really check in with me, they listening and I see
yes, sir.
them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So much love to you, champion, for sending me this
Yeah, man.
this Yale EDU course here. Oh my goodness.
So, no, look out, man. If I find anything else, I'm definitely gonna send it through. But I'm gonna pop
Thank
back
you,
into the
champion.
class, man, and just listen. Yes,
My
sir.
man, Rod from Connecticut in the building. Told you. We teach studies here. I'm a real professor. I told you. You know why you can't see me? Because you playing around in the school and I'm giving you $100,000, $1,000,000 worth of game for free college tuition. Some of y'all students are here by way of other students. Y'all should look at my support team and say thank you because I'm on the EBT program and you helped us. They look at the students and say thank you. You niggas on KevRow, you EBT program. Look at the other students and say thank you. Lord, because without these students, y'all love to hate. Press one, without these students, y'all love to hate. Without them, y'all motherfuckers would have been left alone. Y'all have been left behind. Press one. Hit that like button. Shout out to Bocat. Look at the support team. Come on. Whoop-de-whoop. Whoop, the class of 19, whatever. Ain't never leaving. Press one class of ain't never. They got class of when they got the starting date and just the dash. And they ain't never going to leave. They just got the starting date of when they started on the row. And there's no end. Press one. They just alumni and they still go here. Press one. And you know why? Huh? You know why y'all retarded? Because y'all been looking at retarded people on the internet. Press one. Y'all acting retarded because the people y'all watching are retarded. Hit the like button and subscribe. If y'all wasn't entertained by Germans, blacks, looking for acting gigs, you'd be watching the row. But no, you got to watch these people. Press one. You got to watch aliens, weirdos, who agree with everything wrong with you. Press one. These are my opposition. It's the reason why they dying for clout, as I say, looking for friendships in chat rooms rather than teaching. They want to be something in life. If before they die, they just want to act one time. Press one. Before they die, they just want to be known as something great. And they don't give a damn what it is. Press one. They don't give a damn if it's just telling a joke. And they just always try to get in what an opportune time to get into the acting business during COVID when everybody at home and nobody gives a fuck. Press one. But as people go back to work, you see Kev still remains the same. My views and my support just keep going and keep rising to the top, as they say in our music. I like sounding intelligent, saying shit like that, as they say in our music. Y'all can tell I've been reading how to act like Obama with a Swisher Sweet. Press one. I'm picking it up. I'm picking up my linguistics. See, you don't want to be with this man right here is a black German. He's a Turk. You see that hat he got? That's a Turkish regime hat. Press one. Very intellectual, sweetheart. You see me royal purple. No African you ever met can speak this way, baby. Press one. Now back to this Turk informant. Press one. He's a Turk informant, see. He's an East Indian Hindu with ugly feet. Press one. You know he got, what's that little alien that's on Lord of the Rings where he can climb through the rocks? Press one, this nigga can climb on the boulders to the highest of the highest depths of heaven. All the way up Nebrod's motherfucking tower, this motherfucker can climb. Ain't nothing like a nigga with some fucked up feet. He look like he got some discolored feet, don't he? Press one, KevRow Comedy Hour. Look at your neighbor and say,
Not like this.
oh, shit.
Not like this.
This nigga with his discolored, you know he got holes in his socks from his busted up ass feet. Long ass, extended toenail, motherfucking feet just
Unknown caller.
fucked up. Press one for no problem. Somebody better call me and get back on history before I turn this into KevRow Late Night Comedy Hour. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air. What up, man? Say something smart for me, champ.
Righteousness over wickedness. You already know.
What's up, champion?
Hey, I just sent you a video, Defunct Land.
Oh, that
you
was
gotta
you?
play it. Don't mention. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was me.
Check it out.
What's this one? This is the one. The Black Holocaust Museum, sir?
No, that's the
okay.
Disneyland. Get down.
Which
In
one?
the World Fair.
Oh, I see you.
Check that out. Check that out, man. You might want to share with the world right now because it's going down. You own it right now.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. Yeah, I just wanted to share that, and I'll be touching bases with you, my brother.
Yes, sir. My man. Compton's in the house.
All right,
All
love
my
you,
nigga.
sir.
I love you too, champion.
All right, peace.
My man. See that? See? Compton cuz right there. Right there. He said, damn, I like his drive-bys. Man, yeah, you might want to show your audience that. I missed that. You might want to show your audience that right there. Yeah. Yep, you was just talking about this right here. It's time to get to work, fam. We busting these brothers up. We busting them up. Come on, YouTubers. Pick up y'all game. Kev teaching how Disney and the secret agent organizations took over. You feel me? Shout out to Compton cuz it's 1964. It's 1964, damn it. Before I tell Taj, before we get retribution, sir, you must have peace in your heart. Press one. He said, I just wanna I just, they did this to us, man. I just can't believe this, bro. I believe it. Believe it. Press 1. Believe it, sir. And keep your ass out the allegory and believe it. Press 1. Mr. Motherfucking Gillespie in the building. Woo, shit. Y'all want to see some crazy shit? Oh, no, I'm going to wait on that. Let's watch this. Let's see what this is. This is going to be great. This is going to be a reaction to this. I'm going to roll up first, and y'all watch this.
In the early 1960s, two of the most powerful men in the world entered the final chapter of their prosperous careers. They looked back on their accomplishments and were conflicted, and they looked ahead to their legacies and were worried. These two men were New York City planner Robert Moses and legendary filmmaker Walt Disney. Moses was despised by many. His controversial and destructive housing strategies had made him a villain in the eyes of many. Walt was beloved by many, but he now worried that he had spent his life distracting humanity rather than contributing to it. In a way, both wanted what the other had, and fittingly, their solution was the same: the 1964 New York World's Fair, the greatest fair ever built. But to Moses and Walt, it was merely a means to an end. It was the gateway to their legacies.
It was the what? Gateway to their legacies. Hence, keyword gateway. See that one, Mike? There you go. Keyword gateway.
Moses used the grounds as on for decades. In the mid-1930s, when plans were drafted for the 1939 New York World's Fair, Moses saw his first opportunity to make progress on his vision for the greatest city park in the world.
40 million.
Robert Moses Park. He liked the name. After all, he was Robert Moses. The potential eponymous city park was a dream that the city planned.
He liked the name, obviously, because he is. See what I'm saying?
Had ruminated on for decades. In the mid-1930s, when plans were drafted for the 1939 New York World's Fair, Moses saw his...
And with an unwanted explosion of euthanasia, oh my goodness. They're not entheusm. What the fuck is that? Damn.
First opportunity to make progress on his vision for the greatest city park in the world. In Queens, there sat 3 miles of undeveloped marshland.
Wow. What you think is in this so-called undeveloped marshland? What the fuck you think is in under there? Why is that only that marshland? Why ain't all them houses of why they ain't marshland? What's it there?
Used mainly as a landfill, known as Flushing Meadow or the...
Used mainly as a what? See, this is my first time watching it. See? Hey, Compton cuz. Used mainly as what? A fucking landfill. What you think is in there?
City park in the world. In Queens, there sat 3 miles of undeveloped marshland, used mainly as a landfill, known as Flushing Meadow or the Corona Dump. It would be near impossible to raise the millions of dollars necessary to transform Flushing
Dump. Known as the what?
Known as Flushing Meadow or the Corona Dump.
Corona meaning what? Ah.
It would be near impossible to raise the millions of... There sat 3 miles of undeveloped marshland, used mainly as a landfill, known as Flushing Meadow or the Corona Dump. It would be near impossible to raise the millions of dollars necessary to transform Flushing Meadow into a usable site if the goal was merely a city park. However, if Moses used the grounds as the site for the World's Fair, the dump could receive the funds needed to develop it, and the profits from the exposition could be used to transform the temporary fair into a permanent park. Moses convinced New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia to approve the Queen's Dump as the location for the 1939 World's Fair, and the first step toward Robert Moses Park was underway. Through 1936 to the fair's opening in 1939, construction crews worked to transform a large portion of the filthy swampland
into what?
to a gorgeous fairground, having to divert a river filled with sewage and defeat an army of monster rats in order to do so. Opening in 1939, construction crews worked to transform a large portion of the filthy swampland into a gorgeous fairground, having to divert a river filled with sewage and defeat an army of monster rats in order to do so.
Oh.
The 1939 New York World's Fair continued the thematic
What color? In living fucking color.
trend started by the 1933 Century of Progress Fair.
Told you. They got it in color and they got it.
Fairground, having to divert a river filled with sewage and defeat an army of monster rats in order to do so. The 1939 New York World's Fair continued the thematic trend started by the 1933 Century of Progress Fair in Chicago. The overarching theme of humanity's progress was again at the forefront, but this time, the focus was on the future. The fair was billed as the world of tomorrow, and it featured
Look,
experimental architecture and predictions
What
of what
channel
the
was
future
this?
33 Century of Progress Fair in Chicago. The overarching theme of humanity's progress was again at the forefront, but this time, the focus was on the future. The fair was billed as
What is that?
the world of tomorrow, and it featured experimental 33 Century of Progress Fair in Chicago.
that?
The overarching theme of humanity's progress was again at the forefront, but this time, the focus was on the future. The fair was billed as the world of tomorrow.
What's that? That's the Hoover Dam. Wait a minute.
The thematic trend started by the 1933 Century
B
of
from-
Progress
B
Fair in
from
Chicago.
Texas say, "That's
The
the
overarching theme
gateway."
of humanity's progress was
That's
again
the
at the
gateway,
forefront,
the
but
Underground
this time,
Railroad.
the focus was on the future. The fair was billed as the world.
Look who's standing in charge. What? What? That military personnel right there. This is the gateway, which allowed them. Okay. Just as I thought.
World of tomorrow, and it featured experimental architecture
Oh
and
my
predictions of
goodness.
what the future may look like. It was another landmark moment. Experimental architecture and
I've never seen it.
the 1939 New York World's Fair continued the thematic trend started by the 1933 Century of Progress Fair in Chicago. The overarching theme of humanity's progress was again at the forefront, but this time, the focus was on the future. The fair was billed as the world of tomorrow, and it featured experimental architecture and predictions of what the future may look like. It was another landmark moment in the development of futurism, and it put the promise of tomorrow in the minds of mainstream audiences. Walt Disney would contribute to the 1939 New York World's Fair, but not to its futurism. Walt Disney Productions would create a Mickey Mouse short titled Mickey's Surprise Party for Nabisco's exhibit at the fair. There would also be a special Donald Duck Day held at the exposition. Walt himself would not visit the fair in New York, but he would travel to the Golden Gate International Exposition in San Francisco that was held the same year,
Oh my goodness. He didn't go.
Walt himself would not visit the fair in New York, but he would travel to the Golden Gate International Exposition in San Francisco that was held the same year, where the Nabisco short would also play. At this time in the late 1930s, Walt was still focused on transforming the landscape of animation, deep in production on Pinocchio and Fantasia. His contributions to the fair would be minimal and predictable. Walt Disney was a cartoonist, not a futurist.
You go, look, that look like Adolf Hitler, Kev. You go back and look at Hitler's teeth, could look like that's him right there. Funny looking motherfucker. You never know. You never know.
At least not yet. The 1939 New York World's Fair was beautiful and influential, but it was not profitable. Moses had excitedly helped in its development on the condition that the first $4 million of profits be used to build his park. However, despite 45 million visitors, there were no profits, and creditors only received a third of their initial investments back. This was blamed in part on World War II, beginning within months of the fair's opening. As 5 million visitors, there were no profits, and creditors only received a third of their initial investments back.
Sounds like a robbery.
This was blamed in part on World War II, beginning within months of the fair's opening. As
he said this is blamed in part by World War II.
A third of their initial investments back. This was blamed in part on World War II.
Look, they're using Civil War pictures in the World War II blaming. Look at your neighbor and say,
Not like this. Not like this.
These were all the reenactments at the World Fair. Wow.
Beginning within months of the fair's opening, as well as mismanagement by the fair organizers. While the exposition had certainly helped improve.
Did that say League of Nations Society? Oh, it better not. Press 1.
This park. However, despite 45 million visitors, there were no profits, and creditors only received a third of their initial investments back. This was blamed in part on World War II, beginning within months of the fair's opening, as well as mismanagement by the
what the fuck is on these flags?
fair organizers.
Britain and Russia.
While the exposition had
what the fuck? League.
Certainly helped improve
what the fuck?
infrastructure.
I'm gonna bet my dollar that's a League of Nations. I'm a bet. I don't know what it say.
Structure of Flushing Meadow. The remains were far from a city park. Bankrupt exhibitors left their pavilions in tatters, and there was no money to dismantle them. Moses was technically closer to his park, but it appeared as though the dream was just as far away. 20 years later, little progress had been made, but this was about to change. In the summer of 1959, a group of prominent New Yorkers were in the early stages of planning another New York World's Fair, to be held in 1964. The group approached Moses to gauge his interest in serving as the fair's president. The role was attractive to Moses for multiple reasons. First, money. Moses was powerful, but he was not wealthy. His daughter Jane had recently been diagnosed with cancer, and he would not be able to afford the expensive treatments with the compensation that he received from the roles he held in the city. The presidency of the fair, on the other hand, paid significantly more, and he had already found a way to retain power within the city government, even if he were forced to relinquish a few of his roles.
Wow.
Another reason Moses considered the fair's presidency was power. The president of the fair would be in charge of millions of both city and private funds, and every contractor in the city, business in the country, and country in the world would have to go through him if they wanted to participate in the fair. Paid significantly
Now, ain't that something?
more, and he had already found a way to retain power within the city government, even if he were forced to relinquish a few of his roles. Another reason Moses considered the fair's presidency was power. The president of the fair would be in charge of millions of both city and private funds, and every contractor in the city, business in the country, and country in the world would have to go through him if they wanted to participate in the fair, which early plans indicated would be the most ambitious to date. The most important reason Moses wanted to be president was, of course, Robert Moses Park, a
So this is the Moses that led y'all out. This is insane. Okay, before I go here, I just got confirmation. See, I told y'all to get the books that I recommend. It's only going to help you out. It's going to benefit you. See how my shows just come on spontaneous and I come talking about things? That's why I'm running my program. Because that's me. I'm going to show y'all something so great. This is proven more and more. Now, I don't know how much more proven I got to do. But didn't I tell y'all to go get the Law of Nations? The Society of the Nations? But look, the League of Nations. Look, this was on the flag. I'm just through. Sometimes you just gotta say, damn. Damn, G. It was all a dream. Y'all still live on this.
Project that was more important to him now than ever. As he neared the end of his career, his work in city planning was under immense scrutiny. He had overseen mass evictions of low-income neighborhoods, many of which housed predominantly African-American and Puerto Rican families, to make way for road systems and wealthy developers. Moses had acquired unprecedented power by holding countless roles within the predominantly African-American and Puerto Rican families, to make way for road systems and wealthy developers. Moses had acquired unprecedented power by holding countless roles within the city, none of which were elected positions, and New Yorkers had caught on to his tactics. If he died then, in 1959, he would certainly be remembered as the man that had destroyed New York. He did not want his legacy to be in his housing projects. He needed it to be in his park projects. There was more class to public parks, and if he were able to see through his dream of creating the greatest city park in the world, a positive legacy would certainly be secured. For all of these reasons, Moses accepted the role of the fair's presidency. Walt was also in a very different place than he had been in 1939. He had grown disinterested in animation, in part due to the studio strike in 1941. He had then moved on to theme parks, revolutionizing the industry with Disneyland. But by 1960, the park was more or less running itself. And while he had plenty of ideas for future attractions, his mind was focused on what would be 1939. He had grown disinterested in animation, in part due to the studio strike in 1941. He had then moved on to theme parks.
It's crazy how that mountain is coming right out that damn water. Press 1. Now that's crazy when you think about it.
Revolutionizing the industry with Disneyland. But by 1960, the park was more or less running itself. And while he had plenty of ideas for future attractions, his mind
running itself
was focused on what would become of his empire after he was gone. Would the studio and the park continue to operate in his absence? And more importantly, how would he be remembered? By all accounts, he would be known as one of the greatest visionaries in entertainment of all time. But Walt wanted more. He wanted to be remembered as a visionary, period. He wanted to help society and solve real-world problems. He wanted to do more than provide nostalgic escapism, so he was planning a project of his own. Walt was dreaming of something far more ambitious than a city park, but in order to pull it off, he needed respect outside of entertainment. He needed to prove himself on a world stage. After accepting the role of the fair's presidency, Moses began planning the exposition, but in reality, he was planning his park. Moses set forth a series of measures to ensure that once the fair was over, his elaborate park would be built. First, he focused nearly all of the fair's construction funds on landscaping, infrastructure, and anything else that would roll over into the park once the fair ended.
Will there be anything lasting at this one?
Oh, yes, indeed. In the first place, we'll have several new buildings, but over and above that, we're going to finish Flushing Meadow Park. The landscaping will be here, the trees will still be here. About half the utilities have been put in on a permanent basis, so they'll stay.
While it was typical of fair organizers to design and construct the fair's most prominent buildings, Moses spent most of his effort on the buildings that would remain in his park after the fair. He delegated the majority of the structures to their respective sponsors, forcing them to pay for their pavilion's construction costs, and as a consolation, allowing them control over their designs. This was not normal, as nearly every World's Fair had a cohesive art style. But if the sponsors were designing and constructing their pavilions independently of one another, the exposition would surely have a random and incongruent appearance. Also atypical of fairs, Moses charged sponsors rent for their pavilion spaces. Even more telling, the rents he charged were heavily inflated. Moses also gave contractors monopolies, and they charged pavilions astronomical rates.
Remember I told y'all they were setting up these things and then taking them down?
For everything from maintenance to garbage pickup. The most controversial of the measures to ensure that Robert Moses Park
all
would be
made out of wood
style. But if the sponsors were designing and constructing their pavilions independently of one another, the exposition would surely have a random and incongruent appearance. Also atypical of fairs, Moses charged sponsors rent for their pavilion spaces. Even more telling, the rents he charged were heavily inflated. Moses also gave contractors monopolies, and they charged pavilions astronomical rates for everything from maintenance to garbage pickup. The most controversial of the measures to ensure that Robert Moses Park would be exactly to his liking was Moses's rejection of a proposal to expand New York's mass transit lines to the fair. This was an attempt to prevent minorities and the lower class from being able to visit his exposition.
Now this is crazy, being that we fought in all of the wars for the same freedom. And at this time, to drive in revenue, you don't want African Americans there? Nah, something ain't right with this. Why black people aren't at these fairs? Something's just not right, other than, oh, we wasn't getting along with black people, so they wasn't allowed. Hell no.
And more importantly,
it's something 7 Flushing
Park. Another consideration of clientele was Moses's decision to remove the Midway at the 1964 fair. The Midway was a tradition of World's Fairs, one that began at the 1893 Columbian Exposition and included in almost every fair since. Midways thrived off of irreverent amusements, cheap thrills, and sex appeal, and thus they were responsible for pulling large crowds through the fair's gates. However, Moses detested this kind of entertainment, and the people that enjoyed it. He had tried to eradicate it on Coney Island and other New York boardwalks, and he was not going to allow it at his fair. When the news broke, headlines read that Little Egypt and the Hoochie Coochie, a popular show that was also a World's Fair tradition from 1893, would be banned. In a statement, Moses...
It seemed like the newspapers are mere entertainment for the world fairs. It's like it only pertains to the fair. It's like, oh, the Hookie Wookies aren't going to be a part of the show, and this is in a fucking newspaper. Oh wow, the Hookie Wookies. What? It's an act. It's not real. That's why it's show business.
Threatening the world with a bad time, said, quote, "We are admonished that our appeal must be somewhere below the Adam's apple." Moses's crusade against the spicy below-the-neck area of the human body angered local perverts and general fun-havers alike. After this, it was misreported that the new dance craze, the twist, would not be allowed at the fair, and in subsequent statements, Moses clarified that he would allow the dance. Still, Moses's Midway restrictions meant that he would need an alternative form of entertainment to draw visitors. It had been decided to run the fair for 2 seasons, one in 1964 and another in 1965. The fair would need to attract 70 million visitors in order to pay back the city, its creditors, and still have enough funds left over for Moses's park.
70 million people need to come, and you trying to keep black people out? Something ain't right here. Being that they were there in the 1920s.
This need for visitors and family-friendly amusement attractions motivated Moses to pick up the phone and call Walt Disney. Moses set aside 8 acres of space at the fair for a children's village, and he reached out to Walt in the hopes that he and his amusement design firm, Wed Enterprises, would design and construct it. Some articles suggested that Moses even offered the space in the park permanently for an Eastern Disneyland. Walt was skeptical that his amusements would last after the fair was complete, and turned down the project. But Moses, desperately needing Walt Disney attractions at his fair, suggested an alternative. Walt could design pavilions and attractions for major American companies. Walt was way ahead of him. Wed was holding preliminary meetings with multiple corporations about partnering on projects for the fair. Like Moses, Walt had many reasons to participate in the exposition. He saw it as an opportunity to develop new technology, while having the companies foot the bill. More importantly, he wanted to gauge his attractions with East Coast audiences that were thought to be more sophisticated than West Coast audiences. And of course, Walt had bigger plans, but he was not prepared to discuss them yet. Walt had plenty of ideas for fair pavilions, most concepts that he had not been able to get off the ground at Disneyland. One was an attraction from a proposed annex to Disneyland named Edison Square. A few years prior, General Electric had reached out to Disney, interested in sponsoring an attraction at the park. Walt assigned John Hench, an Imagineer who had done work on the original Tomorrowland for Disneyland, to the project. Hench had recently seen a production of the stage play Our Town, which featured a progression of scenes of two citizens of a small town during the turn of the century. Hench used this as the inspiration for an attraction to be named Harnessing the Lightning, which had audiences walk from theater to theater to view the progress of
Harnessing the Lightning. Let me rewind that. Let me replay that real quick so I can hear exactly what's being said.
To the project. Hench had recently seen a production of the stage play Our Town, which featured a progression of scenes of two citizens of a small town during the turn of the century. Hench used this as the inspiration for an attraction to be named Harnessing the Lightning, which had audiences walk from theater to theater to view the progress of electricity in 4 scenes, set in 1898, 1918, 1958, and finally the future. In lieu of actors, each scene would feature animated figures with limited movements portraying the story's characters. Edison Square would not come to fruition, but Walt had not abandoned the concept. Another potential attraction was the Hall of Presidents, a show from another proposed Disneyland annex, Liberty Street. The Hall of Presidents would feature all of the US presidents gathered together on stage, depicted either by wax or animated figures. In both attractions, a major issue was the technology. Walt and his Imagineers had been toying with robotic animated figures since before Disneyland even opened, but they were not advanced enough to carry a show on their own. Most recently, Walt had assembled a team of his most trusted Imagineers, including his wife's brother-in-law, Bill Cottrell, and his longtime collaborator, Ub Iwerks. Walt envisioned a Chinatown for Disneyland, with a Chinese restaurant featuring a robotic Confucius. Iwerks and Cottrell got to work on the figure, and Cottrell reportedly named the technology animatronics, from the words animation and electronics. Amazingly, the figure worked and was able to
AI. Got you. It's all AI. The whole thing. It's all AI. It was never real. Only when they make the mask of these presidents and other people and tried to play them in real life like they were traveling out. When they were taking and doing artwork on these individuals, it was mere fucking wax figure or AI. Shit, I never even thought about AI like that.
speak for a short time before the mechanics caused its skin to rip off. Clearly, the technology was not ready, but it was closer, and it was enough to keep Walt dreaming. Now, in 1960, he wanted to use the animatronic technology for his President's Show, as well as a show with singing birds called the Enchanted Tiki Room. He tasked WED to start work on both projects. The team began designing the singing birds and one of the US presidents, Walt's favorite, Abraham Lincoln. As Walt
Who made the first president of the United States?
Walt's favorite.
It's not even real. It's a fake picture, bro. Just like I said, my nigga. He didn't free the slaves, bro. It was... Do you see it? It's not even real. I'm fucking tough. Sheesh. It's AI, bro. I'm like bugging, bruh.
Abraham Lincoln. As Walt had dinner with Moses in August of 1960, the city planner practically begging him to contribute to the fair, all of Walt's plans were falling into place. Of all of the companies with which he had discussed the fair, 3 stood out: Coca-Cola, GE, and Ford.
All international corporations.
Pitched Coca-Cola the Enchanted Tiki Room, GE a new version of Harnessing the Lightning, and Ford a scaled-down Hall of Presidents starring Abraham Lincoln. All three relied on one key factor: whether or not the animatronics could be perfected in time, or even at all. With Disney on his side and many countries lining up to sponsor pavilions, Moses only had one more group to convince: the Bureau of International Expositions. The BIE was formed in 1928 for the purpose of organizing and regulating world's fairs. The organization retroactively labeled many of the great fairs of history BIE fairs and put forth a series of requirements that any future fairs must follow. Over 100 countries became members and agreed to the Bureau's rules for future expositions. Despite most of the world joining the organization, the United States never ratified the treaty.
Do you know what the fuck this looks like? Oh my goodness.
But still participated and benefited from it. All in all, a classic move from the United States. Moses flew to Paris in late 1960 to get BIE approval for the fair.
The United States didn't ratify the treaty?
Retroactively labeled many of the great fairs of history BIE fairs and put forth a series of requirements that any future fairs must follow. Over 100 countries became members and agreed to the Bureau's rules for future expositions. Despite most of the world joining the organization, the United States never ratified the treaty, but still participated and benefited from it. All in all, a classic move from the United States. Moses flew to Paris in late 1960 to get BIE approval for the fair. Competing for the slot was a proposed exposition for Seattle in 1962, named Century 21. This was important because the BIE did not approve two fairs in the same country within 10 years of each other. Moses presented the fair, assuming that New York was a shoo-in. However, the BIE objected, citing multiple stipulations that the New York fair would break. First, BIE fairs could only run for 6 months. Second, BIE fairs could not charge rent to other countries. And finally, BIE fairs could not have a trade fair section, which Moses was planning. Moses did not take the objections well. Outraged that his proposal was not immediately approved, the BIE chose to give approval to the Seattle fair instead. Seattle's fair planner, Ewan Dingwall, said, quote, "It was the hardest sell ever undertaken by the Pacific Northwest. People didn't even know how to pronounce Seattle." Moses flew back to New York, having lost the fight, and worse, to the people of Seattle. He was still intent on having his fair, regardless of BIE approval, and he still hoped to convince the BIE countries to participate. This would not be impossible, as the BIE was known to be flexible on their stipulations. But Moses, outraged at their rejection, immediately went to the press, insulting the organization, describing them as, quote, "3 people living obscurely in a dumpy apartment in Paris." Taken aback, the BIE called upon all of its members to boycott the New York Fair, and countries immediately began pulling out. Moses scrambled to save the exposition, hoping to secure the backing of major cities or companies within the countries whose national governments would no longer participate. The blunder with the BIE hoping to secure the backing of major cities or companies within the countries whose national governments would no longer participate. The blunder with the BIE would be just the start of Moses and the fair's problems. While Moses was busy taking the world out of his World's Fair, Walt was working hard to ready the animatronic technology for the exposition's attractions.
Ooh, audio animatronics?
Right, audio animatronics.
The first deal to be signed was with Ford. However, they rejected the concept for the Hall of Presidents show. The company was more interested in an attraction in which guests could ride in chauffeur-driven Ford cars. On a visit to the Ford plant in Michigan, Walt and his Imagineers discussed the attraction with the company's executives. The dark ride, to be named Symphony of America, would take guests on a test track and then on a journey through American landscapes, from the Florida Everglades to the Grand Canyon. Of course, this would mean more animatronics, albeit simpler than those needed to animate Lincoln. While discussing the concepts, Walt explained to Ford the technical issues that would arise from independently piloted vehicles. As they toured the facility, Walt noticed a series of rollers transporting materials down an assembly line. This gave him an idea. What if Ford cars could be pushed through the attraction with a similar series of wheels? Wed moved forward with the ride system, but not with the proposed show. Ford did not like the concept for Symphony of America. The company believed that it was too close to their competitor Chevrolet's marketing campaign, "See the USA in your Chevrolet."
Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all.
one thing you got to know is Kev going to break it down. One thing y'all got to know, family, is I'm going to break it down now. I didn't come on to stay past the trust. No, but I did anyway. But I want to leave y'all tonight before we come to class in the morning with this. Where's Morris World TV? Where are these guys? Because we found the guy who was just in the video claiming to be Walt Disney, and he's nothing more than another actor. Press one. And guess what he got on? His name is Raymond Arnold Disney. Oh, man. So, I know who you is, family. You got to know who y'all are. He's one of y'all. This y'all boy. Right here. 7%er. All that. Islam. All that. Press one. See? Busted. Y'all can't get away from the truth. Y'all are with them. Coffee and Kush TV. I came on a spontaneous drive-by to show y'all about the SQV Trust. It led to more. Look, a Taj. Look, Taj.
Not like this.
Look, a Taj.
Not like
Ain't
this.
Ain't that what that's called? Is that called a Taj? Oh, is that the Taj? I thought it was the Smurf hat. This the Taj? No. Hold up. Hell no. That's the Taj right there? Oh, press one. Kev Gills is breaking down studies. That's all right. He's been redeemed. Press one. It's all right, Taj. You good, bro. Even if your name and your hat mean your stage name and your real name both mean but that's not important. What's important is he's wearing the Taj. He's one of you guys. We going back into Moors. And it's funny, deception on the world. And people pretending to be us and are really a part of this invading deception. So I'll see y'all first thing in the morning. We're going to talk more about the trust, about the 13th and the 14th Amendment. Do your research. More about the Black Holocaust. Who is involved in it all the way around, and stay mentally focused. Hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see y'all first thing in the morning. And as always, I'll holla.